Please do.
we'll talk about our main topic of the evening, which is watches. Now,
Bitches and good watches.
yeah, if you guys haven't already listened to the podcast episode, which we've got all just on, we also don't forget to to read the blog post, because that also gives more of my personal background on the watches, has pictures of the watches that I'm probably going to talk about tonight, or that we have for Spencer and Aldous as well. But today is an opportunity for the rest of our friends here in the chat and in the Discord to talk about watches and their watches. So let's start with Jason, because Ivan's muted and MJ went back to being in alphabetical order. So, and we already heard Aldous. We already heard Aldous. So, and I'm sure he'll come in with some other stuff. But Jason, tell us about your watches.
All right, I have a bunch of swatches. I love a good swatch. I have the one that got away.
For me, at least.
I have a cool like vintage swatch, which is the one that's actually featured in one of the ones. That tiny white one is from like the 80s, and I bought it on eBay. The one that's featured when you see my pink bathroom as the backdrop. But yeah, I have a few of them, really cool ones. One is was a collaboration I did with like the Louvre. Another was like a collaboration I did with some artist that came with a special box or whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, I like swatches because they're right up my alley of annoying, but tastefully. If that makes any sense.
I'm sure swatches will come up, in the time we have tonight, because I like swatches too. I can't remember. I remember that the Glendale Galleria. MJ, do you remember that? They used to have a swatch store like way back in the day.
I don't even know it's there anymore.
Watch what happens.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably like a food. It's like food or something now, right?
It's either
it's like a sunglasses.
It's like either sunglasses or like a jewelry thing.
Well, they turned the watches into sunglasses?
Wow,
that's right.
And necklaces,
swan glasses.
And then Spencer and I, we went to the Swatch store in San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
Yes, we did. There wasn't much good. And the same thing. There's like a Swatch store at South Coast, and occasionally it was like right across from the Starbucks that I would sometimes go to on my break. And so sometimes I would stop in there, and
stop and stare.
Even swatches are too big. Even swatches are big.
Yeah, the new ones are big.
Well, you gotta get the female, right?
Yeah, the female,
probably.
The women's or children's swatches are the right size, but they didn't really have anything I wanted, so
damn,
never got it.
Yeah, I like the women's sizes.
Yeah,
I mean, G-Shock watch.
My vintage watches, are all kind of like small anyway, which, as we talked about, we prefer smaller watches. It makes sense because all
big.
And then when I take the pictures for the ladies, I want them to see
when you choke that chicken.
Yeah, you take the dick pic with the hand that has the watch, on it. Yeah,
I put the watch on it. Yeah, I put the watch actually around it.
Remove the hand from the equation entirely, and just do it that way.
I put a baby watch on it, so the size is just so.
We'll post a tutorial on the Instagram.
OnlyFans. Ivan says he wants a Lego Star Wars watch. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into novelty watches later on, but Lego watches are fun, but I don't want like a Lego bracelet. I mean, I want Lego branded, but I don't want I literally don't want
parts.
a Lego. Yeah, Lego parts on my wrist.
I have
what do you do when you go underwater?
A Burger King Star Wars watch.
Oh, that's cool. There you go. That's fun. Jason, no, go ahead, Matt.
Well, those collaborations, like you talked about on the podcast, I didn't know that for the fucking Domino's watch. That's so mysterious to me.
Yeah, it's so cool though, and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want Papa John's one.
Have you guys seen the Domino's and Hatsune Miku?
No.
Oh, of course. We should watch that. We should watch it on stream.
We'll watch it later on. Yeah, I just wanted to make a reference to it.
We'll have some fun with Miku.
Yeah.
Well, fun.
Yeah.
Jason, so I'm curious. Did you get into Swatch? Like, where did it start for Swatches for you? Because
I
as
got
we
one as a
know,
gift.
Hey,
okay, well,
Swatch.
like a gift,
Yeah.
a gift when? Like how? Like was it like a related to menswear or was it like independent of menswear? Is what I'm asking.
It's independent.
Okay.
My lovely partner Tamara bought it for me.
Oh,
We were at
feel it.
Grand Central. We were walking through Grand Central, get to the train, and we
Mhm.
stopped in, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then later, she bought me she made a custom one for me. So it was like this
She got
cool, yeah,
a custom one?
yeah.
Oh shit. Wait, which one?
Um,
Which one is that one? Did you have you send us a picture?
I think it would. I'll send it. Maybe I have a picture of it, but yeah, it has a yellow face, and
Yeah, that's very
one
good.
band is like
Yeah, come
color
on.
blocked, and the other one is striped.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I sent a picture of it, but yeah, that was the first one I got, and then I've been on a quest to find like an original Swatch, a jellyfish. I have a few. I
Okay.
have one that's like a version of it, but it's not the the
That's the
one.
fully translucent one, right?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
a version.
and they're so expensive to
Mhm.
like when you find them on eBay that I don't want to pay that much for a watch that was like $30 originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just it was a sort of I wasn't really a big watch guy because I don't like I'm not an accessories guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But the swatches are super light. I mean they're like jelly, and so
Is that why you don't like accessories? Because they're too heavy?
yeah, I don't like it when I can feel like
Yeah.
accessories on my wrist or like I hate
Okay.
rings.
Okay,
I
I guess
don't
I
like
could
to
see that.
feel the like imbalance. So I was never a bracelet guy either.
You should get one of those bracelets that has sand from Death Valley and ice from Mount Rushmore.
Right, and Rushmore.
And then
Boy,
that'll
keeps you
balance you. That'll
Yeah.
There
or
you
one of
go.
those fucking magnet bracelets. How about that?
Right. Or what are those like ones with the black pearls or something on them? It's like,
I think that's the Death Valley
oh, is
Mount
it?
Everest
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Wonderful.
hmm
Good lord.
Yeah, what's nice. So what's nice about swatches is that even though they're obviously they're bright, typically colorful and like kind of chunky, but not in a cool.
Kind
They're
of,
chunky in
yeah.
a cool way.
Yeah.
They go with everything regardless of what you're wearing. Because
Yeah.
it turns
Yeah,
into
no, agreed.
it turned into a statement thing. I could be wearing, a navy suit and like, or even like that brown suit, but if I could be wearing a yellow swatch and it's like it goes together because
That's
that sort of attitude toward clothing
yeah,
that
that's what I like about the vintage 80s, like the white swatch that I have that has a clear face.
yeah.
I love it because it does like it stands out with everything else. And I think that's something that you get. I mean, doesn't always have to be a swatch. I think plastic watches in general tend to be on like that very novelty, very vibrant um aesthetic, right? Which is why I like
Yeah.
the Doraemon watch because that's like white and like sky blue, and that stands out in this kind of the same way against like a navy suit, brown suit, or whatever. Um,
Right.
but
And it
yeah,
fits,
no, I
they fit well and they serve a purpose inside of like, my, when it comes to my ideas of, menswear. It
yeah.
fits perfectly in that because, when it comes to like, dress watches, I don't want to have to think about, you know, what watch I'm gonna wear, and or even if I'm gonna wear a watch, I know that so many
Mhm.
people, it's like as I scroll through all, the internet, right? And like the real men, real style. It's like, oh, does this watch go with them? Like, who cares? I
You're
can't.
like
Yeah,
I
there's
can't be
Mickey Cohen.
bothered to think about it.
It's like if you're like
Yeah.
Mickey Cohen, it's like that's too many spoons, too many forks. Just give me one.
Yeah, just right. Just give me. Yeah,
I like
exactly.
having only one fork.
Yeah.
I don't need a salad fork and then a dessert.
Mhm.
Just one fork will do.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I think what we learned from all just I think that when you're like a more seasoned watch collector, and I'm sure when we get to Shane as well, like they just pick it, like they at that
Yeah.
point they just kind of pick the watch. But it's always like the beginner, like we call them beginners, but they think that they're experts because they think they know all the rules. It's those guys who are very concerned about whether or
Mhm.
not the watch goes with things. It's like a
Mhm.
weird. it's like like the Alpha M's, or even sometimes the Style Forum people, or even like Reddit, like MFA guys.
Yeah, what's that? There's like a name for that where it's like the less you know about something.
Yeah,
the less you know about something, the more you think you know.
Dunning-Kruger.
I can't remember it.
I think it's
Dunning-Kruger,
right?
That's it. Yeah,
It's something like that, right? But yeah, it's really weird that those guys always think that way, and it's also they never look good. Like at the end of the day, they just don't look good either. You know?
No, yeah, it's like, and then they try to push the those movement watches on you.
Oh my
MVMT.
god!
We'll talk about that later too.
I want to move out of here.
Yeah, so Jason, yeah, as we discussed, we discussed in the podcast, and as Ethan brought up, I don't really think about matching watches to outfits. It's really all about picking the watch based on what I want to wear, really. And that's how I reconcile the choosing. It's got nothing to do with.
I mean, it's one of those things too, where like it happens with like a lot of menswear, because at the beginning of it, right, where you have this idea about like a suit, like, oh, you want to make sure that the shirt goes with the suit, you want to make sure the tie goes with it, but then like now it's like, I'm gonna wear a sport coat with jeans, I'll wear a sport coat with military, or vice versa, or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so
the other day I saw a couple of guys wearing business casual, walking down the street, and you could tell that these are guys who like kind of care about how they look, because they were both wearing fucking like, slim fit like stuff, whatever. Sure. And I really liked that they were both wearing light shoes that had belts that matched like exactly.
Oh,
like,
no.
And it's you could tell that they like brought the shoes in with them. It's like, okay, gotta find the belt that is this color.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's like that happened. I got that like question all the time at J. Crew. It's like, hey, I have these like fucking green shoes, or I have these like
very belt to go with it,
very like light tan suede shoes. I need a belt with
match them exactly.
No, you don't.
That's why it's always like when people that's why tan shoes suck, because like the brighter you go, the hardest to find it. You know what? If you have like a shell cordovan or dark oxblood or burgundy or dark brown, any of those colors will match each other in belt form to shoe
I just
form.
don't wear belts.
Oh, a tan belt sucks.
Yeah, tan belt. Also, yeah. I mean, maybe a tan shoe is okay, but a tan belt looks just bad.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
Come on, man.
Nothing better than looking like a belt cuts you in half.
Also, nothing like a dame. Guys, I haven't eaten a lot today.
And matching fits though. I found that so some guys say that you should match the case metal of your watch case to the metal that you're wearing, that sort of thing. And I never really believed in that. So I sort of chalk it up for the most part.
Wait, am I supposed to be wearing other metals?
Match your metals.
Well, I
guess
guess it's like if you wear, basically, it's like if you're wearing like a belt with like a silver buckle, your watch
should be silver. Should be some kind of white metal.
I kind of get that, but then it's also like
your pocket watch.
It doesn't matter, right? Like
I don't really care, with one exception being blazers, I think, because when you have blazers and you have the metal sleeves button so close to the watch, it does make me a bit uneasy at times. But no, it's not. I don't think it kills an outfit. It doesn't. It doesn't hurt me to see that contrast.
I guess to people and pluck the buttons off.
If there's ever a case for matching your watch case material to the rest of your metal, it's when you're wearing a blazer, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like not something that I really have to like think about very often, matching metals. But yeah, with I don't know, with stuff like watches, which are, as we talked about in the episode, like prohibitively expensive in a lot of cases. And, if you only have one watch and it's silver and you want to wear like fucking gold cufflinks with it, or want to wear your brass button blazer or whatever, I'd say, go for it.
Yeah,
it was a big deal when I had braces. I really had to match those metals.
Yeah.
Good to God.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's awful, but I must admit to feeling a little bit about.
No, I understand. I get it.
What if you get married and you got the gold ring, so I'm gold forever? Like, what is that?
Well, no, that's why some people actually do.
Problem solved. Don't get married.
I think no, there is like an exception where it's like wedding bands don't count.
Well, that's
or get the ugly black ring.
I think the one thing I do match.
My wife.
My wife.
One thing I do match is, or I used to do is like match the band to like if you're wearing a belt, so like a black band with a black belt, because usually a black banded watch is usually more formal, right?
Yeah.
Like you usually have it
Eh,
like the Marlin, you know.
eh,
But
yeah.
I changed it up because eventually I stopped wearing black shoes as much until now. And even now, like my I have a dress watch now because like the face looks a little bit kind of 60s kind of deco, or 60s mid-century, but then it's got like a faux leather bracelet, so or band, so I wear that one a lot now just because I like it, independent if I'm wearing black shoes or not, you know. And then when I'm wearing like black Chelsea boots, I wear my gold, the Omega, the DeVille, because it's like, oh, black boots, 70s. I'm gonna wear the fucking gold two-tone gold watch because that fits the vibe, you know. So I don't really think about the leathers as much anymore now.
Do you guys know how to switch out your watch bands?
Nope.
No, I don't.
Other than the
I know
Weekender, no.
sometimes. Theory.
I
just buy a
wear
new
In a
watch.
pinch.
I have the fucking nylon strap, so it's
Yeah.
very easy for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, other than the
that's probably
Casio,
what
no.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather just have more watches, TBH. So.
And then just not switch
Jesus.
it out.
Because
Just have a different watch.
yeah, because it's kind of wild for me to hear you guys referring to your watches by the color of the band that's attached to it.
Oh,
because
really?
For me,
Could we
it's
When
just
it can be
swap it out?
very interchangeable, right?
for me, it's very interchangeable, and there's
Yeah.
literally a pile of watch bands from right next to
But
my
okay,
table.
I don't know.
You know, if
That-
I had more than one watch, I think I would be doing that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a good point though, because you said in the podcast you don't like, it might be a week you wear a watch and then you go for something different. So you go there and you're like, okay, well I like this watch, but I don't really want to wear with this bracelet or this color. I want this version. Is that how you think about it, or do you ever have to change midway through just to get a different type, or is it daily? How's that going to it?
Well, it's always based on the watch itself, and sometimes I feel like it, I'll switch the bracelets out. So the point being is that the first thought for me is always the watch itself. The bracelets it doesn't really factor in because it's so easy for me at this point to just switch it out to whatever. If I like the watch but it's on a black band, that's no problem. I can put it on a metal bracelet, for example. I have plenty of those. I can put it on a brand bracelet, a brand band.
And they're
for example.
interchangeable, at least the ones you have, or you have a good selection.
I've got all
that
sorts
can
of
be.
sizes.
So hold on, Aldous, do you
yeah.
think that certain watches, or you know, like the body of it, if you call that part the watch itself, do you think that those have certain bands that are better suited for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Certain,
I'll
certain
agree with
watches,
that. Yeah.
yeah, as suited to certain
Okay,
type of band.
because so also the reason why I'm bringing this, because since I have a different watch for every metal and strap combination, I think that I do that because like I think it'll be cool to have like, you know, like one basic watch, like you know, nice face, whatever, and then you swap out the leathers for different things. But I think because like I like swatches and stuff, like to me it makes more sense to have multiple watches instead of having a bunch of different
It's easier,
bands.
you know.
Oh, he's saying it's a joke. Well, what I'm saying is, I don't know, like I don't.
Got
What?
his ass.
Well, I guess like I don't know, like I think for me, I don't know, like I think that for me the Marlin will always be on like the kind of like the one it came with, you know,
Top
or
tier.
I might swap it for a better version of the bracelet of the band, which is like a fake lizard skin, whatever it is that it
Gizzard.
came with.
I think lizard skin's illegal now, actually. So you're
Oh,
only
shit,
gonna
I
get
thought all these lizards are skin.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, a lot
from
of
pulses.
like lizard skin is still just like stamps, you know.
Yeah.
.com.
Stamps.com.
Yeah,
Stamps.com.
Oscar.com.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I like to keep it that way. I mean, I know people like put like a Marlin on like a NATO strap. I've seen maybe or something. I've seen something similar to that kind of thing, or you know. But I like keeping it the way it is because that's the way I got it, right? And then
That's the way.
it's like why I don't like. I'm sure Ivan will say
Mhm.
differently, but I don't like. And I never was into detachable collar shirts because I don't wanna. I'd rather have multiple shirts, instead of one shirt and then multiple collars. Like
You've
even
never been a
if
vintage purist. Like I need to do this exact look. You just
well,
pick and
yeah,
choose.
but it's also just from like a practical standpoint. I mean, not a practical standpoint. It's just I don't know. Like I'd rather have the whole shirt as an Oxford shirt and the whole shirt as a spear point.
100%. I agree the same. Yeah, and that's
The
sort of my thing
difference
with
though is that
watches.
it's easier to get multiple shirts from a monetary perspective than it is to get multiple watches. So
Yeah.
if you're a watch guy,
Yeah,
you
but
tend to be pushed into getting into strap changes just so you can have
Well,
variety because you
I'll
can't.
just
Well, I
because
think
the
but
watches
the
are
difference-
expensive, right? You spend the
Yeah,
money on
yeah,
a watch,
the-
and then you're like, straps are secondary. I'll worry about that later, and I can switch.
But
rather than
but
getting
I
a whole
would
new watch.
say I will say though that I think again the watch I don't want to change like the watch itself. You know what I mean? Like if I want to have if I want to dress down a watch, I'll wear like a swatch instead. I'm not gonna just swap out the strap to make it
Right.
like you know.
You don't want a
much
modular situation.
He is not a
Yeah.
strap swapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me. That's just me.
That's you.
Because I mean,
If
I
you
guess
catch
it's
Ethan
like,
swapping straps, you gotta shoot him.
yeah, kill
That's
me.
a false.
Wait,
Ethan.
TOS. Well, because I was gonna say like
Alright.
I think if we were
Shoot him a good
if we
look.
were accurately comparing this to clothing, it would be as if I got like 3 Marlins all with different straps, and that's not the case. You know, hey,
Yeah, that would
Three
be wild.
Marlins. Somebody tell Pixar.
yeah. Someone,
Oh my god.
Nemo
Yeah.
might get confused.
It's the Nemo.
Yeah.
It's the
Nemo,
Nemo
good job.
multiverse. That's what it is.
Is,
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
Marlin dating Dory?
It's
I
more
think-
like I think it's more like an adoption sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that
The co-parenting,
Dory is
the
like
I
an
gotta talk to
adopted
Thomas
kind of
Newman
thing.
about this.
But I meant like I don't know. I'm just making
It's
a
like
joke.
an adult adoption sort of thing.
I
he's a-
don't know. Hey,
he-
Ivan. I don't know who Marlon is. I know
He's
who
a-
Marlon
Yeah, with the
is.
H.
Marlon
Marlon
Brando.
Marlon
Marlon
Wayans.
Wayans,
Marlon
yeah.
Brando.
Wayans.
That's some real 34 shit. Hey, if you're not attracted to Dory, I don't
Wait
know
a
what's wrong.
minute. Is
Hold on.
Bob the Cucumber dating Larry the Tomato? Nope.
Wait, is
That's
Ernie?
You
Are
could
Bert
look
and
up real
Ernie
quick.
dating each other?
No, hold
That's-
on.
but that's-
I'm
that's
right
actually
because
Please look this up.
Bob the
it
the Cucumber and Larry the Tomato are a gay
Can
couple,
they fuck it?
but Larry the Cucumber and Bob the Tomato are not a gay couple.
Yes, they can.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, no, I
thank you
think
for responding.
back to swatches now. The reason why we're why they're so prominent in menswear is because Michael Hill wears swatches.
Well,
He
this
has
is the whole
that
Drake's
guy.
That was
angle.
because I
right?
wore swatches.
Well, Jason started it, then Michael Hill
I did.
noticed.
Michael Hill, yeah, he
It's
saw
true.
you and he was like, "What the heck is that on your wrist?" And
Michael
he's-
Hill looked into the future and saw a guy named Jason Sandagon wearing
he
it.
wrist
He put his
checked.
hands to his temple like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to the fucking the sanctimonium or whatever. Doctor
he-
Strange
He's like, I
helped
know
him.
this guy's gonna be big, so he's like,
Sanctimonium?
better watch it.
But I remember
can't
I
blame him.
remember before this. I
No.
don't know if this is like a big thing, but I remember I was talking to Chase, and Chase, back when he worked at Drake's, was like, "Man, Michael Hill's so cool," and he also got like a clear swatch, but it was like the green one,
Yeah.
the green
Yeah,
jelly or whatever.
see
I don't know.
Mhm.
And I photographed Chase wearing it. I don't know if Chase still wears swatches after he has moved on to J Muser, because now he wears the like his dad's Benris or his grandpa's Benris, something like that. But yeah, I always love that kind of green swatch.
Hi,
Yeah,
Chase, we know you watch.
Yeah, obviously he watches this.
Yeah,
Um,
he's obsessed.
but I mean, I'm always very concerned about wearing like swatches because I'm always like, oh, it's a little too Drake's. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why you got to find like the more novelty ones, because Michael Hill definitely likes the clear ones. So I think having the ones that are a little
Yeah.
bit different are better. Like one of
Mhm.
my, I think I mentioned this in the podcast, but like one of my quote dream swatches. It's not the dream. I don't really need it, but it's like the
Do you
space.
dream of watches?
It's like an
Yeah, do you?
I dream of
Do
Oh.
androids dream
Okay,
of digital
Fontaine.
watches?
Sometimes
But-
I dream of
We got that.
electric watches. So
there you go.
Digital watches.
Sounds
But yeah,
electric.
the space swatch. I'll try and drop a picture
Swatch?
in the chat. It's cool.
Uh,
Is that the one that they wore on Apollo 11?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
What?
wait, that's like a type of luxury watch, right? That they wore that up there, right?
what? You guys cut out for a sec, so I didn't catch.
Oh.
What
I don't know, some
watch?
space watch they wore up in space.
The
Yeah.
Bulb Accutron was one of them. Also, the Speedmasters. Everyone has
Oh,
in
the
there.
Accutron.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. It's not a timepiece. It's a
It's
conversation.
a conversation piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Oh,
do
that,
like
yeah,
it.
that
watch
swatch
culture.
that Ethan just shared is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Check,
yeah.
check out the second one that I just found on.
Yeah, that is
Check it
nice.
out.
That one looks
Oh,
great.
I love that. You
Yeah.
gotta wear this
See,
with the Constellation pajamas from Sleepy
Yeah.
Jones.
That's
dude.
right, yeah.
Yes.
See,
We should talk
I
about
like-
pajamas sometime.
I wish, yeah, we will. I really wish that the
If
more
you're me
watch,
wearing
there were
that.
more novelty watch brands that did it like in the kind of Swatch way, or maybe that's why Swatch is like the leader in that. Because like the Doraemon watch is kind of similar in shape to like a lot of Swatches.
See, I don't consider
and-
like swatches to be like novelty watches. I just think they're just a different
league
sort
of
of
its own.
breed, you know? Yeah, it has its own
Different
thing.
breed.
Like I think of novelty watches as like, you know,
Your
looking
Mickey
like, you know,
Mouse.
novelty tie, yeah, like Mickey Mouse or things like because the swatches look like
I do love
someone
those. I
actually
don't know.
Or
designed
purposely
the
vintage.
swatches, you
Are there
know.
modern novelty watches?
What do you mean?
I mean, Disney makes a lot of watches, like whatever.
Yeah,
the
but
fuck-
I mean,
the
like Hot
Lego
Topic does
watches.
too.
Does
but, like, what is their
McDonald's
cutoff?
do watches as Happy Meals anymore?
if they
Sounds
do,
I
I
miss
pretty
Happy Meal
expensive.
toys.
they're an Exegol watch.
What do they
I
even do
mean,
now?
You
Well-
can still probably get Happy Meal toys.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I think something I just realized, talking about novelty watches and McDonald's ones, now that we don't really get to show off like our fandoms with T-shirts. I mean, I still do with my Star Wars T-shirts, but it'd be cool to have those in, like watch form. That's
Yeah.
kind of like a cool menswear way to do it. Star
It's
Wars
hard.
watches. I've been trying to. The thing is, lots of novelty watches suck. They're like
Yeah, they're pretty
super
terrible.
chunky,
But
and
that's
they
when you
look
have to wear big
bad,
watches, so they notice.
big,
and then we hate
you
them.
know.
You know what I mean?
Because I would love a Tintin watch, but they're expensive.
They're expensive. Like
If you
Yeah.
love Tintin so much, why don't you just marry him?
Yeah,
I would.
He's tried.
In his heart, he's married.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun. How long you been married?
70 years.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
What
Good for you.
what anniversary is
Yeah, what
70?
metal?
So Jason likes watches. Moving on.
70
Yes.
anniversary.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
But yeah,
I can't believe you don't know
Let's-
this, and your 70th anniversary is
that
coming up.
I know.
LOL.
Didn't Omega do like a Tintin watch? Who did one?
Sure.
I don't.
did it?
Not Amiga as far as I know. They did an Ultraman watch version of the Moon
That's
Speedmaster.
cool.
Why,
Yeah.
of course, the 70th is the platinum anniversary.
Platinum gold.
Platinum.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
The most
It's gold,
expensive
it's gold,
metal for a watch
gold,
case.
it's
is
gold.
Platinum.
Mhm.
I'm dancing to
Um,
Jason's theme song.
Thank
There you
you.
go. Our
Yeah.
pocket watch is novelty.
Fuck that. Fuck your
Pocket
pocket
watch.
watch.
God.
Pocket watches.
Go back to 1890.
Let's talk about pocket watches.
I have a
Can
pocket
they
watch.
look cool?
That was my. I have a pocket watch. I wore it. Let me see if I can find the. Let me find my graduation.
Can we
outfit.
talk about the right way to have a pocket watch? Not the fucking clip that goes to the pants. You have to have a fob. The T fob. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That goes in the vest.
God.
Yeah, yeah.
Just throw
You
that
idiot.
article.
You could also have
I
the
think the
what
right
that
way to
they
wear a
call the
pocket
Albert.
watch.
Do they call it the Albus? The one that goes into the breast the pocket square
Well,
pocket.
the Prince
one?
Albert is the double,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Prince Albert's also something else, right? But
I think so.
Check
No,
out
I-
this.
That's right, yeah.
I make
yeah,
fun,
don't-
but I
don't
was
Google
a
Prince
Victorian
Albert.
then,
Yeah.
so I know this stuff. And I learned from Pawn Stars that if you have a hunter's case on your pocket watch, you're full of shit, and that they didn't use those. Those were later. You have to have an open face pocket watch. That's the real stuff.
Just
Mhm.
like your
Thank you,
Star
Pawn
Wars.
Stars.
All right.
Sponsored by Pawn Stars.
Not really.
Sorry,
Yeah.
get a fob, you
check
idiots.
out. Check out my pocket watch in that article I just dropped in there. It's
Style?
I
Remember
also
Oracle's style?
I hate that.
Oh my god, look at your first outfit in that. Holy shit.
how,
Good
yeah. Hey, the funny
End of
thing
it-
is I could
end of an
probably
era.
do this.
Yeah.
Like also look at how low waisted those pants are.
Look at
Mhm.
how many
No.
different colors of double monk straps you had.
Oh god. Yeah, they're
Who
they're like
hasn't owned
Steve Gadd
double
or
monk straps
something.
ever? Who hasn't had those shoes ever?
I never
I
have.
haven't had those shoes.
Never
I
had
never
it.
got
Oh,
it.
wow.
I probably would have gotten it if I had the chance to, but now I know I
I'm
should.
gonna remake this outfit because I'm getting in a purple
Yeah, do it.
jacket soon, and I have gray pants and black shoes and a green wrap tie, so I could technically probably still do this.
You could do it.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, no way.
But yeah, pocket watches are probably bad.
Yep.
I don't know any way you could wear them. I don't wear mine. Mine's just a cool thing that my parents got me for my graduation,
Yeah,
which is very
It's fun
nice.
to have.
You know what
Uh,
I'll take? I want the like a replica of like Marie Antoinette's pocket watch or something like that.
What's that?
I
Okay.
want her head.
I'll find a picture of it. It's crazy.
Give me her
Anthony
head.
Maria Antoinette's head. That's a great fob. Give me her ear. That's a great fob.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
pretty
flip
Somebody
it. I wanna
call.
flip it open.
Somebody
I wanna-
get Madame Tussauds.
There you go.
Yeah, get on it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's get on it.
New cop? Wait.
Get on
Oh
that.
shit. Thomas and Friends, baby. Let's get in on this. I
no.
actually the strap sucks,
That's a
but
no,
the
no.
face is kind of fun though. I love
Yeah,
it.
you can
Minute
change
an
that shit.
hour.
Sounds like my
Yeah,
Tinder
look-
reviews.
Look at
Oh,
that. Seriously, look at it. I think it's pretty
Look at
good, man.
Do you
If
guys
I
ever
look up
look
Star
at
Wars-
like, when you look at watches on eBay? Do you ever look at it and go like, "That's a good watch, but the strap kind of
Oh,
sucks"?
man,
and then
Link
you,
broke
I'm gonna
it.
stop you there. I don't look at
Absolutely.
watches on
Persuade you?
eBay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
If you do,
I don't swap it out. I don't swap
If
it
you
out, so I
do.
don't really
so that does
Yeah.
factor into your calculation that the strap sucks. I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
it's
know.
another thing I have to buy. It's another thing
Yeah.
I have to go source.
Well, I don't know. I
It's
think
so
my
easy.
threshold personally, like a bad strap, like I don't really have too big of a threshold. Like, I mean, if it's horrible, no. But I mean, I'm pretty flexible. Like, I got a nylon strap. I'll get into eventually, but
yeah.
that like just because it's not a leather, I'm not gonna not get the watch, you know. So I guess my threshold's lower.
I guess it's the same thing as like, like buying sometimes, when you look at stuff and the size is wrong. Maybe not like in a bad way, right? Like maybe like the chest is just really big.
Sure.
Or their shoulder pads. Yeah, you can get it removed and switch it up. It's like, I'll just At this
Just find
it's
a
like at
better
this
version.
point. Yeah, just find a
You
better
know,
version of it.
I like that the Thomas the Tank Engine watch. Sorry, I'm a little bit late on this. Teaches you how to use it. It's like it is literally baby's first watch. It teaches you
That's
how to
awesome.
use it. That's
Do you
kind
guys
of
Yeah.
remember kids watches? I had an airplane, or not airplane, a space shuttle watch. That was really fun. You press
No,
the
I never had a
buttons.
watch as a kid.
Damn it.
I had a Speed Racer.
Those are
watch.
fun though.
That's
Speed
awesome.
Racer.
Let me see if I
Oh,
can
go.
find it.
Very good.
I had a baby G, I think, when I was
What's that?
really young.
What?
It's
Baby
like
I mean?
like a child's G-Shock, basically.
Weird. Oh yeah, those were a thing for sure.
Yeah.
I think it weighs more.
Okay.
Than...
So Jason
Let's,
likes swatches.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's move
Yeah.
on to Kiyoshi. It's Kiyoshi's time to talk about watches and what he wears.
Cool. So probably my most worn watch I've had for I think around 2 decades. It's it's a quartz. It's by Regner, the Swiss Army knife company, and my parents got it for me as a gift. I don't remember when, but I know it was definitely when I was still in grade school. I was obsessed with Swiss Army knives, and it's this cool kind of like
As you are
brush
when you're-
titanium-ish looking metal bracelet and case. Has a really cool red second hand, the Swiss Army logo at the 12. I've had that thing forever, and it still works. It still fits on my wrist, and
ice on my wrist.
yeah, it has a nice weight to it. I wear it year round. I wear it with almost everything. Most days, it's when I don't want to think about what watch to pick, and do I want to spend time winding something up? No, I just pick up this quartz watch, put it on the wrist, ready to go, done and done. So that's probably my most worn one. I have a couple swatches. I've got the black and the white versions of the collaboration they did with MoMA. And picked them up at the gift shop. And I've got the Hodinkee, the first collaboration they did with it, which I don't actually like. So if anyone wants it for a fire sale price, let me know. Basically, for me, it's just too big. It's too big on my wrist. It's their automatic, their System 51, which is cool because it's automatic. It has a translucent case back, but for me, it's just too big on the wrist. And unfortunately, otherwise, I like the watch. And then I've got for dress watches, I've got 2 tank style watches. One is from Longines that I have in a black
Jean
leather
Valjean.
band, and that one I wear.
I'm free. That's my John Valjean impression.
Very good.
Yeah.
And then I have a Cartier Tank I have on like a expandable bracelet
Those tanks.
that I wear just to be a little gaudy.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce Longines? Yes.
Yes.
Longines?
the long jeans.
The
Like,
Longinus
long
lens.
Long guy knees.
These
Long
jeans are
tiny,
long. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, the Cartier,
Cardi
Cartier,
B tank.
yeah,
Cardi B.
the
Where's
Cardi.
that collab?
Hey, I
Give
want some
Cardi
Cardi
B a
tank.
tank.
I would fill up that tank.
Yeah.
mhm.
Meaning,
Um, no, I think tanks are. I mean, that's what my Gruen is. Like, I put a picture of that in the blog post.
Yeah, I like the tank style more than I like round faces.
Hmm.
oh,
I don't know why. I just kind of do.
I think most. I think if it's a round face watch, I'm more picky on it. Like, it's got to be right. But most tanks out there, I think, are just typically like. I mean, I'm sure there are bad ones, but when we
Oh
look
yeah,
at like
there are bad ones.
vintage ones, or like the ones that I've just seen, like the tanks seem better to
Seemed.
me. Like like when it's round, like, oh, I too many tick marks. Oh, Speedmaster, it's too busy, or whatever. But
Yeah.
the tank ones are typically pretty easy to find in the way
Yeah.
that I like it.
I would
Mm.
love to find I think it's called a doctor's watch where they have
yep, yep.
the smaller subdials for
Oh.
the seconds hand.
Yeah, so
And I love the
you
way
just
that
Google
looks.
doctor's watch, and I'll explain if you need me to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm looking. I'm trying to find
You
a
look
picture
for it.
of one. Is it
Mhm.
like I'm gonna put this in the
Yeah, put it in and
chat.
see if
But
it's
don't put this
right.
on, please.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
Thank
kind of.
you.
Yeah, kind of like that. Although,
That's
yeah,
kinda cool,
that gives you
actually.
that gives you the idea. So yeah, it's split. The hours and minutes on one dial at the top, and the seconds is
Okay.
its own much larger sub dial at the
Oh,
bottom.
that's pretty cool.
They call
Yeah,
it doctor's
I'm
watches because doctors would need to be able to keep track of seconds so they can measure pulses. That was at
Right.
least the stated intent for it. So, but at the same time, they didn't want round watches because this was an era when round watches weren't cool. So, as a compromise, they ended up with a doctor's watch, which splits the dial and gives that big seconds there, so you can keep track of it easier.
Big
That's-
seconds.
I'm like super into that. That's pretty awesome.
They're expensive
your
though,
chronograph.
and they're pretty rare. They're also not. They're also pretty old for the most part. I don't think it was a thing much past the end of the 30s. So the stuff that exists is either really battered or in good shape but very expensive.
Check this one out. I'm gonna put this one in here. This is cool. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Rolex Prince,
interesting.
yeah, expensive as shit, but
Oh, Rolex.
yeah.
Oh,
Those
Rolo.
make round watches.
Rolo.
They were, yeah.
Rolo Polo. Great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Matt, why don't you talk about watches now? What you
Me.
have or what you like?
So just a disclaimer, I do own like Apple Watches because it's like a part one of like being in sort of like the Apple ecosystem, but also like I don't know, I really like just like looking at my watch and my complication being this is where I'm going next in my schedule, this is where I am. Oh, what's the date
I mean, they
today?
seem super convenient, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't own one. But I mean, there have been many times where it's like, oh boy, if I could just look down at my wrist.
It's just easier.
I feel like it would give
That's
me
interesting.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I
What's
guess
that,
that's
Claire?
true too.
I don't even use a day planner.
I mean, you
so,
don't want to talk into
like-
your
Well,
watch like Aspire, bro,
Yeah, I'm James Bond over here.
or like a
No,
Power
and I'm not
Ranger.
really an exercise
on, Matt.
head, so that's not an aspect that's super useful to me, but it's fun to know how many steps you go. But I would find like, in academic life, just like, okay, what classes or what like rehearsal I have here, it's just really nice to have that solid foundation with my calendar. It's so important. And then when I do need the dates, when I worked with food and needed to constantly be writing dates. But I'm in quarantine for all of this year, and I found, especially since I moved here, that I haven't really needed that. So it's just been sitting on my little dock here, and I started just like not wearing a watch, but then I realized I saved the watch I do have that I'm wearing now it's a Marlin from, I don't know, the 60s maybe. Here, let me actually focus it. Focus on me. I don't know if it's from the 60s or something, but it's that
60s,
sort of,
late 60s.
yeah, thank you. That's sort of what my dress watch was, because I always wanted like the Marlin. Like they had their new releases of the Marlin, but I think this is not 34. This is like smaller than it slightly, I think. On some nostalgists to no avail. I think it's like a nylon strap, probably, right? Something like that. It's fine. That's not like a leather. I really like the kind of browner tones with the gold and all that. And the dome. Can you hear this in the mic?
Yeah.
Like the little dome thing. So I fine.
Love some
That'll be
dome.
like That's like the dome. That would be like my dress watch. But I've been here, and it's like I didn't need the schedule of the Apple Watch, so I haven't really been using it. And at first, I just thought this will just be like a dress watch when I need to dress up, and I was like, well, I'm still going out sometimes, so it's fun to have something on my wrist. And I really like. Again, I'm sorry, I don't recall the actual what the case size is if it's below 34 millimeters, but it really works on my smaller wrists, which are like, I don't know if it's like 6.5 or whatever my wrists are, but I really like the proportions of it. So I like wearing it, and just, I think you guys talked in the podcast where it's like clothes are really for other people, or sometimes clothes are for yourself, but then watches, it's mainly for you to enjoy looking
Yeah,
at.
watches, if you have more than one, the only way you're justifying it is it's for yourself. There's no practical or outward appearance way to justify having more than one watch. You don't need
I think
don't even one. You don't even need one, really.
No, really. That's how I feel about the Apple Watch. That's why it's just collecting dust in my corner. But this is something I think it's like with clothes. It's both, where it's like, well, actually, no. This is an important distinction. This watch right here is really just a fashion piece. This is where I differ. This is really an extension of my clothes, because I've told I got this watch in like April, I think, and I wound it every morning and all that stuff, and I was doing everything you're supposed to do, but the issue, I mean, it keeps on ticking. That's the Timex slogan, but it
Takes a
didn't
licking.
keep. Yeah, it does take a licking, but it does not keep time. And once I realized that it was not doing this, and it was so hard to reset, I was like, nope, not doing that. I was like, am I gonna rewind this every day? I was like, maybe I'll
Wait,
do
you're
that.
talking
That's
about
fine.
setting the date of it?
Yeah, well, no, not the date, but just like it did not keep time. It would slightly lag behind, and I realized I'm sorry for doing the fucking
That
white
drives me
nationalist symbol.
nuts. That drives me
But yeah,
so
when
nuts.
it goes behind, and you're just like, no, I cannot do that every time. So I just like I stopped. I was like, fuck it, I'm not. I went back to the Apple Watch. But again, now that I'm here, it's really just I wear this as an extension of the things I wear, put on. It's a proportional thing. It looks good with this. So pretty much anytime I leave the apartment, or I'm like shooting something for clothing, I just figure, yeah, put this on, and it's a nice little accessory piece. I think that covers it. I really like this. I mean, I think in the podcast someone mentioned that, like, yeah, maybe wearing like a t-shirt, because the whole point of the smaller cases was, everyone wore longer sleeve clothing covered up to fit
Yeah,
under
that
the
was my
shirt.
point.
Yeah, but like, and this maybe is the case if you're like a bigger guy, a taller guy, and you wear a tiny vintage watch that looks bad proportionally. But like, I'm a tiny guy, and if I wear a t-shirt, I like, or a rolled up Henley, I like showing off the smaller case size against my wrist. I like those proportions. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, for me, it's an extension of fashion. So it has a time, it has a date. It says it's the 16th, 11:30 right now. So actually, that's pretty close time wise, but I'm sure it's been around a couple times. But
Yeah.
so I do not use this functionally. It is literally just an extension of outfit. But I like it a lot, especially in quarantine. It's just another thing to put on.
Yeah, I think when Chase has been interviewed twice, I think for outfit dissecting, and then for one other one, and they asked him about his watch, and he did the same thing where he's like, and some days I even remember to wind it, which I think is kind of
That's
funny.
fun.
Yeah. Very funny.
My Gruen, the one I photographed that still works. So I know I said that I spent a lot of money on getting it fixed or whatever. I think I got it serviced, which doesn't. Servicing is just like cleaning it, right? Like that's not
Taking
really?
it apart, cleaning it, oiling it, putting it back together. Yeah.
right. So I got it
That's
serviced,
okay.
but I had assumed that when you say service, they'll fix whatever is wrong with it, right? Like if you get your
Oh
car
yeah,
serviced,
yeah, they would. I mean, they would. They should
If you
anyway.
talked about it, you had to
but
say
like
it.
if you didn't tell them what was wrong with it, would they
Right.
do it?
Oh yeah, yeah, I imagine they would. If
The
it,
price
Okay.
is right.
if it couldn't run afterwards, you'd probably complain, right? And they
Yeah.
No, I'm
to make
saying
it worse.
so I got it serviced, but then the watch was running slow, and so they had to get a replacement for whatever the thing that's like. It's like I don't know, like I don't even remember what it's called. It's like the
lugs.
Well, okay, in that case, there wasn't anything clearly wrong with it. Like, I mean, if they took it apart and there was a broken piece, then they probably try their best, or at least try their best to fix it, or tell you that you need a
They
new part
needed
there.
more blinker fluid.
But when you talk about
I'm
accuracy,
not
though,
sure.
Gotta get that blinker fluid.
Yeah.
when you talk about accuracy, though, it's a matter of regulation.
Cut line blink.
Yeah, what's the
and
there's like a regulation thing in it, and it was probably broken or out of alignment or something.
There's a regulation thing that helps regulate it. Sometimes it's a bar, sometimes it's a small screw that you can sort of adjust to make very fine adjustments to the balance spring and change the accuracy in that way. But in terms of why watches are inaccurate, it's usually I'd say it's because it's dirty. Sometimes it's worn parts, and if it's the latter case, then
I guess,
you can't really do anything about that.
I guess my point is that this place sucks because I didn't know it was running slow because I got it serviced and I
Yeah,
thought
you're right, because usually a place they
they'll
should
tell me. They
check
should
it
tell
and
me,
make sure
right?
it's keeping decent time at least before letting it
interesting.
out.
But yeah, so I paid for it like twice to be fixed or whatever, basically.
Mm.
But now it works
When the
fine.
watch so nice, you fix it twice.
Thank you,
And
Spencer.
that actually
How's
reminds me of a watch that I got. I didn't actually. I think I barely mentioned the blog post because I didn't want to I didn't want to keep writing too much. But I did actually get a watch after the tank with the black strap. I got it, and I can. It's like a field watch. I think it's something kind of similar to that. Let me put it up here. It says what? Amida?
Amityville Horror.
Spell.
Say I can't even pull up. Oh, yeah, Amida.
Amigo.
AMIDA. That's what it says. And it works with like a NATO strap.
Works.
No idea. And I wore it actually during my trip to London, to London and Paris. And sometime there, like I would wind it each morning, and it would work. It would keep time. And one day it just didn't run anymore, and I don't know why.
Really? Oh, no.
When your
cool,
watch
I could-
doesn't run like it used to before.
Yeah. I'll put
How
it
does
up
it feel when it winds? Even
I'll
does it
put
still?
it. It doesn't wind. I have wound it all the way. There's
No.
just like,
When you wind it, there's no resistance. It doesn't increase. You don't feel anything, right? You can just
no,
wind
I
it
meant like
indefinitely.
I no it I wind it. It's like it's just there is resistance. I can't wind it
Okay.
anymore. Like it doesn't keep
Okay.
going when I do it.
Mm.
Yeah, that might be tricky then, because
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got it for like $20, so I don't really feel like spending a lot of money to get it fixed. I'll put it up to the webcam here. You guys can take a look at it. It's not gonna be in focus because the webcam doesn't do that, but it's nice. It has like a yellowish.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
cushion case, not really a tank.
No, yeah, I'm saying this is not the tank. I got this the same like near around the same time I got the tank, or the same day. I think I got both for like $70, so like 40, like $30 each, $35 each.
Not
But
bad.
yeah, I
love
like it.
cushions.
Yeah, it looks nice. I just maybe in the
Very
future
nice.
I'll get it fixed or something. I don't know, because I don't really need it now.
Yeah.
But I've kept it just in case, like like I've got an extra, however much in the tank
A
to fix
mechanical
this.
watch is like a fidget spinner or fidget cube where it's like the ultimate thing you can just like do with like when you're bored. Like honestly, because I don't wear this watch every day, but it's like so I'm not like waking up and winding it as my alarm goes off. It's like okay, now I'm putting it on, and I haven't worn it for a little bit, so I have to wind it for a little bit at first. But then like I always check in subconsciously, just like is it the most tightly wound it can be, and so I just wind it. It's just a thing to do when you're insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, I fiddle with shit. So having a watch that I actually
Not a
needed to
fiddle.
wind was
Yeah.
kind of fun because it, gave me something to put my nervous energy into.
Yeah, that too.
So,
Real quick, I'll just tack on that again. I'm sort of Drake's has been so important to all of us, myself in particular. Just like, oh, what a template and like change of like everything. So obviously, I picked up on them wearing swatches and all that stuff. So you would think it would just fit in, but between like using the Apple Watch or like just wanting to find a nice, simple, small dress watch, I just never was able to break into the Swatch. It's not like I'd be cheating myself now to get like a Swatch, but just like I don't need it. I'm just like, and it's not like a minimalist statement. It's really just you have the hyper practical modern thing, and then you have the old thing that really like brings you back to a certain day and just kind of looks nice and harmonious and proportional. So you almost don't need it, even though the Drake's like a swatch would be, kind of really complement that look. I don't need it. I'd rather just have a classic piece, if you will. So yeah, I love the idea of a swatch and the fun, colorful things. And again, you can get small case sizes with them if you go women's, children's, or vintage. But just like I
Yeah,
don't know,
women and
just a little
children
more
first.
women, as Titanic once said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the ship spoke for itself.
it did. It really did. It let itself go. You could really tell by the second act.
Yeah,
I
broken up
think that's it.
by the end. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny because
What's funny?
didn't Rowing Blazers sell some vintage swatches
They
at some
did.
They
point?
sell. I love they
I
sell
know that Drake's did that too, and then the Bloke also did that.
Mm.
And I don't think anyone bought them from the Bloke because
Because they
no.
were expensive.
they were expensive,
Oh,
and also
really?
it's not. I don't know. Like
They
there's
were
something
like
about
triple digits.
You can find so
Jesus
many good
Christ.
ones on eBay
Yeah.
for like
yeah,
50
but
bucks.
it's one of those things where they're probably this
It's
is
just one
this
of
is how
those
it is with a lot of menswear where it's sometimes it's the brand and you buy like just because it's like older and rarer, they want it to be good. Like you could probably find like a 70s like camel hair jacket. I'm not saying that that's like super expensive, but like people would pay a lot of money on eBay because it's Polo Ralph Lauren. It's cool. But when you look at it, it's got giant shoulder pads, it's a low buttoning jacket, and it's got this,
Yeah.
all bad stuff. And it's like you can find a camel jacket that doesn't look like that. It won't be Polo Ralph Lauren, but people might not be able to do like discern the taste wise. So I think that with like the swatches that the Bloke had, yeah, they're cool vintage swatches, but I don't think they look that good either. Like they weren't like the cool. They weren't the cool
Right.
thing that I liked. I mean, it could just be taste, right? It could just be taste.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like swatches that have a very distinct.
No swatch will ever be
novelty
worth
and
triple
abstract.
digits.
Well, it
Well,
depends.
I hope not.
know.
I think the green
No, they won't.
see-through swatch is the ultimate swatch.
okay to be
Whether
wrong,
you
Jason.
craft it, I can't remember.
The
it,
Keith
but
Haring
that's what
swatches are worth more than triple digits. They're probably 4 digits at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, right. Because the Hodinky stuff is all like $300, right? The swatches. So
I
yeah,
thought they
they're
were like
well into
150.
the 3 digits actually. If you think
Yeah.
about it.
But like
Yeah.
the Keith Haring stuff is, I know,
Yeah,
highly collectible. If you have
Yeah.
unused, unworn, and there was actually a somewhat recent swatch collection that was up for auction, like Sotheby's or something, where this person had been
Right.
collecting mint condition swatches for, I guess, decades. And it went for very, very high amount, if I recall. I don't remember the specifics, but you can probably Google it. But
It is literally a piece of plastic. It might
yeah,
as
but
well
it's
be a
Keith
plastic
Haring,
bag.
but it's
I-
like anything else. It's like baseball cards. It's just a piece of
Yeah.
cardboard, but people who are obsessed with collecting it,
I mean, that's the very
they
basic
pay for it.
the basic marketing of like collabs. That's why they are made. They partner with like like an artist like Keith Haring or whatever, and then they don't make a lot of them, so of course it's going to be expensive. I mean, yeah, practically speaking, from a mechanical standpoint, they're all the same thing, but it's about like that extra part. There's like a Salvador Dali tie, fifth 40s 50s one or whatever. Those ones, yeah, they're just a fucking swing tie, but because it was designed by Salvador Dali or licensed his painting, his style, that's why they're expensive. So it's like if you really want that, it's pure aesthetics. You can't say that it works better than the other ones or it's better made, but at the very least you have to say I like it because I like the collaboration it's done with.
Yeah,
But
art is just paper and ink, right?
yep, yeah, same thing.
That's what
Same
I got
shit.
on my printer, bro.
Yeah. But hey, MJ's here. So MJ, why don't you talk us about watches? Because you actually wore watches more than I did.
Yeah. So other than, I think we mentioned the Timex, or that always
Weekender?
gets mentioned. Yeah, the Weekender. I also have a Citizen Eco Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna show on the screen.
Just try it.
Hey, I see it.
there.
There you
You're
go.
doing
And then
the
I,
like fucking makeup
That
girl
works.
trick.
Yeah,
Love it.
and then I have a I have a
The
G
makeup
Shock
trick?
for you know, either working out or when I expecting to like get my hand
Hmm.
or something,
Mm.
or
Mm.
the rugged activities.
Rugged Ivy.
Rugged activities, you know.
Um,
Let's
that.
list these rugged
I know-
activities.
I know Matt brought up Apple Watches or smartwatches. I haven't like had a very big interest in getting one,
Smartwatch.
which some people might sound surprising because I'm like
The tech guy.
yeah, but it's just I don't know. Everything that I would use the Apple Watch for, my phone already does.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
there's I don't need to I don't really need or have the need that the Apple Watch.
Sure.
And it's also
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really see the use of an Apple Watch to me because I even mute all notifications on my phone.
Oh yeah, the
so,
notifications, I miss those too. Oh, and just have it right there. Yeah. I don't
well,
know.
I mean,
It's a
I
quiet
don't
thing.
I don't like seeing notifications, so I mean having a watch to check that stuff doesn't make sense to me.
I
you
mean,
know what
I really you only do notifications for the important shit. Like, yeah.
and I don't do anything. So.
You
Yes.
just, you know.
Don't
Yeah,
try to
I
get a
don't- I
hold of
don't-
him. It's
You are on
useless.
an
Yeah,
island.
exactly. I mean, it's because I'm on my phone. Like
Yeah,
that's
that
why
makes sense.
I have it, Like I mean this is a little off topic, but I never use day planners because I'm always doing my
Yeah.
homework. So I just
Right.
never and
What's that
MJ
feeling?
knows this. I would literally go ahead and do homework while I'm in the class so I don't have to do homework later. So having a day
Jeez.
planner of like and like oh yeah, so when I get home I just play video games because I already did my
Yeah.
homework.
That's nice.
So yeah, I never
In a way,
really used
planning
planner,
is
so-
like you could be doing the work, but you're planning and you're sitting around doing the planning. You know. So
Yeah,
I
I
get
think
that.
it's like time management. Yeah, what a nerd, exactly. Yeah, I'm a huge nerd. I'm a literally like I graduated super
Titular
early.
nerd.
Yeah, where do you
And,
think you are?
Freaking eats nerds.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember
Yes.
like at the end of the year when I
You
was a
see
kid,
'em.
I would always like when you clean out your lockers at the end of each year because they have to hose it down at the end of each year. Like I would be
We
like,
didn't
oh
have
hey, look,
those.
there's my day planner.
Yeah,
So,
at the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, just in the back of the in the back of my locker. Well, you guys didn't
Do you-
hose down your lockers?
But do you guys
What?
have lockers out in the open?
I mean, I don't think they hosed
Oh,
them
yeah.
down in
We-
front of us.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
we
no.
didn't hose them down. We wiped them. We had to like go get
Yeah, this is very new.
we had to go
Oh no,
get
no, they
like
just
paper
at the
towels
end of
and
the
like
year. At the end of the year, they walk by with the hose and just like if it's empty, they just fucking spray it and that's
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Well,
Well,
if that
maybe-
happened, if that happened
not
in my
Were your
like-
school, it
lockers
wasn't.
outside?
yeah, maybe
Yeah, my lockers
afterwards.
are, yeah.
After
I don't.
I mean
that's
I've
after
the
never
thing,
had.
after the school year.
my-
Apparently.
Yeah,
So
maybe
your
yeah,
lockers
but
are inside.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
in
I
the
didn't have an.
winter.
I didn't have an inside high school. All my like
How about
the
inside baseball?
building. It's like
Yeah.
like
about that?
I need to describe to you the building. So it's like a building in the middle, and you enter it from the outside. So the lockers are there's no
Pretty
hallways.
typically enter
Yeah,
building.
there's no hallways. It's just all separate buildings.
Yeah,
And
this is
then,
very much a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
Or at
I
least
mean,
a
That's
not
warm
pretty
climate.
really, not
A
really,
warm climate
because
thing,
I'm
a
seeing
warm climate.
regular.
You know,
I mean, yeah, probably warm
Every
climate
school
things,
here in the
but-
East Coast is all like one building.
Like the movie Halloween, they had outdoor lockers, and you're like, that is like where they said
Oh,
that is not
okay.
what happened.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just
I
saying,
had
I mean,
outdoor lockers in middle school, but that was it. We had indoor lockers in my high school.
Okay.
My high
Alright.
school was also weird because it was like it was all cement, all hexagons. Everything was
Jesus.
hexagons.
Shoot
the
myself.
strongest gone.
And the
That's
area that like our lockers were in was basically it was kind of like I don't know, kind of like an arcade, not like the video game arcade, but it's like open air at
Cones.
both ends. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was built in the 60s. It was apparently an experimental architectural style that
Oh,
they
those
thought would
experimental
be
60s.
that would be more conducive to learning. I don't know why.
Didn't
Was
but
it?
yeah,
I mean, my high school's gone now, so
yeah,
So
that's right.
maybe not.
yeah, it doesn't.
Well, they
exist
learned
anymore.
that didn't work.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the
I
magic
told-
lesson.
I've told you guys at my college, the business. So when I started when I started college, and you know how like after your first year, then you start getting like your major required classes because like your
Yeah.
first year is like all general ed stuff. So
Astrology.
when I started to do business classes, my second year,
Business bit.
that's when
Mhm.
the like the new business building was made, and all the classroom like there were no windows in any classrooms.
And no
What?
doors.
The
Oh.
only windows were in
No
the
hope.
teacher offices. But if it was like a classroom, there were no windows because it was like all like inside. It's like the basically the outer ring, the part of the building that has actual like windows were all like the teachers' offices. And so and all the classrooms were in the middle, so there was no windows. There's also only outlets on the sides. So like it was so awful. Like you would think that a school that's supposed to be like, oh, super great at business, we're gonna be super innovative, that would have like fucking outlets in it, like and powered desks. No, we didn't. And so if you wanted to charge your laptop, which is absolutely essential if you're doing like 3 to 4 classes a day, right?
Right.
You would
Oh, we
have
had
to get there
charged
early
us.
enough and get on the side of the classroom to get access to an outlet. And
Oh, we had outlets in our desk.
yeah, no, that never had that. And here's the thing, apparently they knew about this, but they decided to finish the school to be ready on time for the new year instead of just like, like take a different classroom and extend like the opening in order to get the like power to the desks and everything. And one of my teachers brought it upon himself to buy a bunch of extension cords for us, which was really nice of him.
That's nice.
But yeah, my
Shout
college
out.
sucks.
I
They
didn't
also
start
fired that.
noticing.
They also fired that teacher, by the way. Like it's very sad. I love that teacher. If I had him as an advisor, I might have still been an accounting student. But after he left, I mean, like I had
What
no one
teacher
like
did they
really
fire?
push.
What teacher did they fire?
My
Yeah,
accounting
who's
professor.
name
why?
him?
I'm not gonna name him because I don't know if he like did anything.
Dox him.
'Cause I also
Dox him,
this is
yeah.
not get off topic. I also heard that maybe like I don't know if it's true because he was kind of a weird guy.
Uh-oh.
Was it
Not
a
not
He's
no,
sex?
not
kinda
not
kooky.
like not in that way. I'm just talking about like how maybe he was a little like antisocial or just like didn't get along with other teachers. So maybe when it came down to it, they decided to let him go. You know what I
Reminds
mean?
me of this
Kinda
funny
little
math
loner.
teacher, this funny math professor I had at Berkeley. Ted Kaczynski, I think was his
Hey,
name. I
yeah.
wonder what he's up to now.
Don't compare
was
my
it,
nice
Ted?
accounting
Not very
teacher
much, I
to
imagine.
the newcomer.
Kind of a loner.
Kind of
This
a
guy-
strange antisocial
Yeah.
guy.
Nope,
Weird.
not gonna stand for
Weird
this one.
Joker face.
Yeah.
This guy who wrote me a recommendation letter and was super nice. Come on, man.
That is the Unabomber.
And wait, what was the
We know he watches Ethan.
was the recommendation letter mostly about industrial society and how it's like gonna lead to humanity's downfall?
Yeah.
Damn.
Guess what?
In the head with
Bad
that.
news.
Oh,
I got some
good
bad
lord.
news bears for
Yeah, I
you.
got some bad
Oh
news.
no.
God, I hate
Can
you
I
guys.
just this is a callback
Um,
to the YouTube thing, but like there was a man,
There's a
an
YouTube
older
thing?
man who wore a trench coat. When that was my thing on YouTube, like I wore a trench coat, and so he became like this guy who also wore a trench coat and like made videos about praising me. And I was a kid, so that was very fun to kind of reconcile and block at every point in my life growing up.
good lord.
Yeah, that's fun.
No.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I see our buddy. To bring it back to watches. now.
buddy.
I see our
Good
buddy,
talk, guys.
our buddy Shane here, who is a big watch collector. I don't know if he's on mic.
Yeah, is he actually
Hello.
here?
Hey,
Oh,
he's
there he
here.
is.
All right.
You hear in
Shane,
mind or
why
spirit?
don't you why don't you briefly introduce yourself real quick and then
Briefly.
talk about the watches that you like?
Oh,
or
you guys
wear?
know me. Come on.
Yeah, come
I
on.
mean, well, hey,
Everyone knows you.
the stream
Shane.
doesn't know you, and YouTube, who will see it after I highlight it, may not know
But
you.
the world will know you.
Unabomber.
Like
hey,
Newsies
World
once
will
said.
know your name.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My dog snoring.
Go ahead
so
and talk.
Yep.
Here we go.
Let him speak, boys.
if you hear my dog snoring, I apologize. She's right next to me.
Oh, that's
You're
great.
good.
Yeah, she's cool. I'm Shane. Hello. I'm in the Discord. That's it.
Cool.
That was nice and
Well,
brief. Thank you.
Tell us about
What do you
watches.
need? I have about a dozen right now. I think I'm going to stick with that for a while. I think I've had 20 max.
Wow. Okay.
At my peak.
High
I've
five.
been wearing them ever since I was a kid. I would wear like a calculator watch, a digital watch. I do a lot of cycling. I wear like an Ironman, but I got really into it, I'd say, when I got into menswear deeply, like 2012-ish. Right after the blogger era, I kind of missed that, but I had a weekender, of course, the Timex weekender to start. And then I just got deep into Seiko, and I had a Citizen Nighthawk at one point. Like Ethan, I have an old Gruner too. And then
Yeah,
I
Grunes are good watches.
eventually, yeah, they're cool. And then I eventually
Under the radar
just-
too, but good stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much. And then I have a friend who writes for a pretty popular watch blog, so I'm able to see stuff like in advance and hear about some stuff here and there. And then
Can you add your friend? Who's your friend?
Yeah, do it.
My friend Ed Jelly, who writes for Warner and Wham.
Yeah. Follow
Ed
Ed Jelly.
Jelly
Yes,
about
ma'am.
jelly.
Any relation to
ma'am.
Jenny Agnelli?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
Does
funny.
I think it's his
Okay,
cousin
cool.
or something?
Nice.
And then eventually I fell in love with the date chest. And before I knew any better, I just hopped on eBay and I found one and I messaged the guy back and forth. And I was like, all right. And that was it. And now I have, like I said, about a dozen.
Now he has a Rolex. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I had a Nomos at one point. I had a Halios at one point, but I'm with you guys. I love smaller watches. I do the biggest I'll go is 40 millimeters. That's the biggest I'll go. But even
What's the smallest you'll go there?
Yeah, what's the smallest? Let's look at the scale.
I have a Waltham tank style that I think might be. I forget the lug to lug.
Those tanks are tiny.
Yeah, what's the bandwidth from
Yeah.
there? You can probably work it out from there. But
It's 16, maybe 16.
okay, so it's probably like 22 crawls, right? Then,
22. L'Age du Christ.
But tanks
I had it-
tanks
I
are
had it
different though.
then.
Tanks that you kind of need them to be like 22
Yeah.
to put in that little range.
I did have a Cartier tank a few months ago, and it was just I got it, eBayed it, and it was just way too small, so I sold it. But
Right.
I'm a big diver guy. I just think they go with everything and anything. And I love stuff on a bracelet. I do like straps, but I tend to wear my watch a little looser. So bracelets
Okay.
just work. In terms of swatches, I have an old. It's got to be from, I think it says 91. Really small on the dial. A Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
What?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna tell you right now, I have no idea where it is.
Oh, that's a
Damn
shame.
it.
F's
You
in
should
the
slide
chat.
your- slide your
I can't
mind.
even look up
F's
Phantom
in the
of the
chat.
Opera. What does
Yeah,
it
I
look
will
Google
try
like?
to
it.
find it.
Google it.
I will try to find it. I got it at an estate sale for $1. I'm like, I'll get it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it just has like the phantoms, the mask.
You think
Face
Lord
mask.
Andrew Lloyd Webber wore it himself?
Yeah, I think. It
Oh
might have been
yes.
his. It
All
might
right.
have been.
Oh, he's joining us. Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
But I gotta find it. If I find it, of course, I'll take a picture.
Yeah,
I've
put
just
it
been
in
into it for a
the
while.
videos. That's awesome. That's a
Yeah, it's
novelty
crazy.
watch. Oh my god.
What's your philosophy with regards to watches, though? Because in the episode, I talked about how I sort of see it as different from clothing separate, its own entity, if you will.
Yeah.
But how do you see it? Do you coordinate your watches with your outfits, or do you just choose watches and choose outfits separate?
I actually wear them based on what's the term? I guess I want to wear each one equally. So even if I feel like wearing watch B or watch A, I haven't worn watch like X or Z in forever, so I will just put that one on because I want to give.
But I
it
mean, do you
equal
do that with clothes
time.
too? Like, oh, I wore this. I want to give more treatment to the other clothes.
Yeah, we all do that with
Okay.
clothes, I imagine, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, if
We love clothes.
yeah, if you're wearing something more, like
Yeah.
if you're gonna wear something a little
It's a glove.
nicer, my brain just goes towards the date chest or like the tank style watch.
Okay.
I think most people would do that. I've never, like I said, never been into swatches besides the Phantom one that I randomly got. I think they're cool.
Swatch.
I like, yeah. I just never got into them, but I definitely do. I am aware of. Oh, I'm wearing this today. Like
Okay.
this is the watch. But
This is the one.
This is
This
the
is the
way.
moment, as Ethan
Yeah.
listens to.
Yeah, apparently the biggest.
Apparently,
model.
I have no idea how that works, but that's
The
another
sta- the
podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
I,
But
I,
yeah,
I
very.
I could do references and stuff, but I'm not like one of those,
Not
you
a,
know.
you're not a super nerd. You're not a WIS about it, right?
I mean, with
What?
my own, I could do it, but it really depends on the brand. Really, there's some brands
Okay.
like no, I have no clue, and then there's some brands I know way too much. It just depends on that stuff. It's really just stuff I have. I really am deep into.
Sure.
Mm,
Do
interesting.
you
But
like
it's like-
looking into the history of stuff you've got? Because speaking for myself, I really like that. Like if I can find a vintage ad of
Oh yeah, that's always
Yeah.
that's always
Oh
really
yeah.
fun.
I love it. One of my Gruins I found at an estate sale, and it had the like a little pamphlet with it and the original
Oh,
box.
that's great.
nice.
And that was as cool as the watch. And I still have like the old box and stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that.
What's the Gruen
um,
you've got? Is it a very thin or a Curvex?
It's really thin. It's my watch box is upstairs. Again, tomorrow I'll try to post. I'll try to find the Phantom one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all right
I'll
then.
try to
It's all right.
find
We'll
it.
follow up with you because that seems really interesting.
Yeah. The
Oh my
Gruen
God.
is extremely thin. It says probably 34, 32 millimeters.
There's
So it's a
that's
so it's a round one then, right?
What's that?
So it's a round Gruen,
Yes.
not a rectangular. Or
Oh
tank.
yes, it's round. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
round. Yeah, it has a sub dial
Ah.
for the seconds, which is cool too.
It's probably a precision.
Hell
one,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Even
Oh,
lots of
wait.
sub-seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just. Can you explain to me what a WIS is? What was that?
So what is that?
Watch
what
idiot.
was that?
Start with W.
It literally it's a watch idiot savant, and it's
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
What'd you call me?
Sure.
I was really
Sure.
into like reference numbers and
Mhm.
Okay. No, we're
Yeah,
not
maybe
numbers
maybe we
Movements
can
and
finish
shit.
off this with a little bit of watch culture, and also
Yeah.
on that note too,
Finish me off.
like
yeah.
what's up with like
I finish
menswear
myself
and
or
fucking Seiko?
self-reliant.
Like what's up with
Menswear and
what's up with
Seiko.
that?
Are you
Yeah.
just talking about like
What do
Seiko
you
in
mean,
general?
so what's going
up with
on
that?
actually? Like what's
Yeah, what is go up with them?
I meant like
Dude,
I don't
with
know,
Seiko?
like every time I talk to like Ryan, and Ryan also Ryan Cecil, the acclaimed cartoonist, he also likes watches. I remember when he
Yeah.
got his
he got his Explorer,
Date-
right?
Explorer,
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
or
Dora?
whatever. I don't know. Explorer, Datejust. I think he also has a Datejust.
Yeah,
I think.
a Dora collab, Rolex Explorer. And that's a vibe. man.
That's coming.
That's
down
that's the
pipeline.
collab you want.
Dora.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know he's always been doing. I know that he would tell me before. This is before we made Discord, but like they would talk about Seiko in the Blamo Slack group.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I mean, it's just something other than like the main ones, right? Like Rolex and Omega and whatever. Like Seiko always kind of comes up, and of course you got Mark Cho talking
Yeah.
about Grand Seiko and everything, and
Seiko's
name?
so
Brock?
I mean,
Who's the
I'm
model
not saying
man?
it's like the biggest thing, but it's kind of like Swatch for like Drake's, right?
Brock
It's kind of like the
McGough.
thing that people.
I mean,
kinda
is
get
it just
into.
that Seiko is like a good entry level brand? Like they make
But they're
they make
Japanese
decent.
movement.
They historically have been, but I think what's
Yeah.
going on with Seiko now is that they're trying to change their image because it's
okay.
it's getting increasingly hard to survive as an entry level watch brand. That market is shrinking fast. No one really needs an entry level watch anymore. So Seiko, I think, in an effort to survive, is trying to make itself up. It's trying to upscale itself, really focus on its Grand Seiko line and its technological innovations.
And
with
how much
spring
are
drive and all
Grand
that.
Seikos? Because I know that they were more
Oh, they're
expensive than I thought they
expensive.
were.
They're like Rolex.
Okay.
They're like
It
Rolex adjacent.
depends on which one
Oh,
you're looking at.
so they are Rolex adjacent. Okay.
Yeah, in price anyway. But they have to overcome the image there because it's tricky. There's such an ingrained idea of a Seiko and a Seiko look, and that being a cheap watch. Like my dad, for example, like he cannot imagine that a Seiko could be expensive though because it's just looks cheap. David, what 20 to 30K? Yes, like some of them, right? Limited the
Good
more
lord.
limited editions.
How can people? I can't. I mean,
So to answer your question about Seiko though,
That's a
they're
car.
moving upscale and because they're making waves, I'm guessing people just talk about them more, I suppose. And
Yeah.
maybe it's also a bit of Asian pride too, because they seem to be pushed
because
more by
Right.
That
Yeah.
Asian persuasion.
yeah.
right.
As you call it.
You
Well,
have
by
to
wait,
say
are
it.
Grand wait, hold on. Are Grand Seikos the ABGs of the watch world? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Some more abbreviation.
It's the
I mean, you
Kevin
got to pay for the
Trends.
winged eyeliner. You got to pay for
gotta
all the
pay.
soju
I
and
would
all
kill for
the
wings right
Korean
now.
barbecue and all the milk tea.
Send wings
Oh,
to
yeah,
Milwaukee,
pricey.
Wisconsin.
I just $20,000 to $30,000. Like, dude, like my car was like $20,000, and I have to pay for that for the next 5 years, right? 5-year car loan, whatever. Like, I can't
I mean, once you
imagine.
pay in 5 years, you can buy a watch, and then it's like nothing
Yeah.
changes.
That's the
That's
great
what
thing
you'd
about
buy.
Seiko is
No,
that
I would have to pay.
for
No, I would have to do the 5-year loan.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Shane,
Just keep
Shane,
it.
what were you
You're
saying?
used to it. You're
Just,
used to paying that amount every month, so why not just do
I mean,
it with the
I
watch?
just paid off my phone like right now, dude. Jesus.
Right
Christ, I
now?
can't.
Congrats.
No, yeah, this
Very
month, yeah,
proactive.
this month I just my last phone payment on. So
Yeah.
this is my iPhone now.
Yeah, Shane, what were you saying about Seiko though?
No, I'm just saying that it
Say it ain't
literally
Seiko.
covers
Say
covers
it,
every
so.
base. If you want a Grand Seiko, you got it. If you want the SNK, which is $60, but it looks cool, you get that. It literally from A to Z. Seiko covers every base in terms of the watch world, and that's why they're so accessible. If you want to get a luxury watch, Seiko. If you want to get a watch you can mow the lawn in, Seiko. Like it's all there. You know,
And
that's the
Yeah.
best part about it. There's so many
You've got
different
that, and you've got
references
like
and
they've got
lines.
the rep for craft.
Oh, hey
yeah.
Sam.
Who's this?
Enough
Hey,
there
Sam.
to
Sam!
nerd out about.
Welcome.
Sam, do you watch Auntie Donna, Sam?
So I watch what?
Do you watch Auntie Donna?
Never heard of it.
It's okay. They're Australian.
Oh no, that'd be funny.
That went well.
But
yes,
Auntie
Sam,
Donna has a
go
big
on.
old house of fun. No, yeah, I think
Yeah.
Seiko, yeah, that kind of matches up with what I've heard about it. I mean, my friend, what's his name?
Friend.
Lawrence.
Great friend.
Oh fuck, what's his name? Oh, I feel so bad now. Oh my
no.
god.
Friend you don't
That's
My best
remember.
friend.
No, okay,
Okay.
it's okay. It's because his business is not his name, even though it is his business.
Right.
That's like the
It's
thing,
hard.
right?
Alright.
Fucking okay. Jesus
What's
Christ.
Post in the
the
chat if
business?
you know.
It's Lawrence and Co. It's fucking the menswear, the PR company.
Someone's got this. Come on. Post it.
Shane, what's his name? Damn it.
Shane, come
God
on.
damn it.
Well, Michael
Come through,
Williams.
Shane. Yeah.
No, it's not Michael Williams. It's the other guy. He works
The
for
other guy.
Hodinkee.
But you know who we mean.
God damn it, I
Stephen
have a
Pomeranz?
meeting. No, I have a meeting with this guy every Monday, and
Really?
it's
Just check your
oh
calendar.
my god. I'm checking. I have
He
to check
works-
my
pull that shit
following
up.
list. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
it's Nick Roberts. It's Nick Roberts.
Nick
God
Roberts.
fucking damn it.
Nick Roberts.
Guys.
Yeah, Nick Roberts. He does PR for Hodinkee, and so obviously, like now that I help him manage his social media, it's like I'm getting more Hodinkee news, I guess. You know,
Which is
Um,
You help him manage the Lawrence and
Yeah,
Co.
I have an RSS feed set up for Hodinkee News.
yeah, I help him manage
should.
the Lawrence
Mine
Co
on 18
Instagram.
million.
But yeah, I mean, you know, now I have to check up on Hodinkee and like copy some of the stuff from the press
What a
release
name.
and everything, for the captions and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot of Seiko because they just they launched the Grand, like that Hodinkee X Grand Seiko, right? The what is it, like the blue dial one? I forgot what it's
Yeah.
called. The U
It
Uyghur.
was
I don't know how to say that in
the
Japanese.
brand, something like that, 5600, something like that.
It's the SBGM 239. I don't
Reference numbers.
San Bernardino. Good morning 239. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
put this in the chat so people want to see it. I mean, we were talking about this in the
The thing,
Discord.
the thing about Seikos for me though is that they're all rather large. I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
smaller than 37.
I don't. I
right?
mean, I'm not a big fan of the Hodinkee Seiko. I don't really like it.
And
Yeah.
Seikos also, funny enough, have historically been large as well. Like even the 60s ones were 37 millimeters, which is quite large for the time.
Yeah.
They've
I
always
had the Alpine 38.
What?
No,
Yeah.
I had
yeah.
the Sarb 017, and that's 38, and that's on my wrist. I have a pretty sizable wrist, apparently, and I don't want to brag, but
Yeah.
You know what
Double
they
the
say.
Sarb,
Big
Yeah.
wrist.
You know what they
Okay.
say about big-wristed men? Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
but the Sarb is 38, and it feels pretty great on the wrist. But like you said, yeah, nothing these days is going to be smaller than I think probably a 37 or 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
The,
It's
the
like the-
original Grand Seiko from the mid '60s was I think that was 36. The King Seiko might have been 35. I think that's the smallest. That's the smallest
they do.
Seiko I
Yes.
can think of. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
I'm
interesting.
looking up that one. Hey, does Mark Cho have this one? I don't know. It looks like a Seiko. Like
Post.
Did just
oh.
get the Hodinky one. He posted it when it came out.
Interesting.
Now, Mark
Yeah, I
Cho
mean
took
they
a lot
look
of
nice.
Seikos. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Cho. I mean that's kind
There's
of
a
like
shit
the
ton of
person I
Seikos.
saw.
Yeah.
You know, most of the pictures I saw that are in the blog post apparently are Mark Cho's because he messaged me saying, "Hey, can you stop talking shit about my watches, please?" As a joke, and
Well, because
then
the one that he posted of the 2 big Omega was him, right?
no,
No? Oh, I
no,
thought that
that's
was
not,
him.
no.
Gotta
It was
find that picture.
it
again.
was at first the one he responded to was the one that was like the Son and Lange, whatever the fuck that one is, the one with the
Oh,
fucking-
longer and son.
Longer.
Yeah.
yeah, Lange and Son. It's got the four different dials on it, like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's the
I
vibe.
don't,
I was talking to you about it, Ethan. Though the longer one, that's a vibe I can. It shouldn't attract me, but it does because it's so unique in its own way, so
I
distinctive.
mean, I get it. It's like having
Yeah.
quadruple patch pockets. I understand, but it's weird, you know, as a guy who's like not at the watches,
It's
and then the fact that it costs like how much does this cost? Like
Wait. It's not a longer, right? You mean the it's the Blues Owl one at the in the article, right?
I don't know what it is. You're talking
It
to the
might
wrong guy.
for the watch
Like
boys here, it might be an FP Jaune. That's the which
He does
is
have an FP drawn too.
yeah,
I
which
think,
is
yeah.
dumb expensive. So yeah, I can't really get behind so much.
okay, I'm looking
No,
at it now.
neither
I
should
mean,
you.
yeah, what 200,000? What I don't.
Wow.
Dude, I don't think I'll ever even own a house at
Wow.
this point.
No.
Like I don't like
Yeah.
it's not
Wait,
gonna
what?
it's not gonna work. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, so he messaged me about it, and he's all, you know, we talked very briefly, and he I just told him that picture of him wearing that watch with that fresco suit is it comes to my mind whenever I think of like a busy watch or a watch that's got too much shit on it. It's because I guess it's not busy. It just has a lot of dials. Like it's not because I think like the Speedmaster has got a lot of stuff. Like it's a lot of tick marks and everything. I don't like it for that reason. And then for this one,
Oh, I love it for
just
that
too many
reason.
dials on
Yeah.
it. And hey, I get it. I just, you know. And then he was saying like, oh yeah, you probably like, you know, simple three-handers. Which I said, hey, did you come to that on your own? I'm like, no, Mark told me that term.
Right.
And so and he sent me some watch stuff, and he sent me the videos that I watched the interview that he had for watches.
I mean, his tank is really cool. I love the model tank he has, which like flips out to become a desk watch.
It's the Tank Basculons, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that thing is
very
so cool.
Tank, yeah. It's
Sure.
yeah, part of a trend of flippable rectangular watches.
Mhm.
The Tank Basculons
Yeah.
and the Reverso, more famously. Which
Right.
I like a Reverso, but first of all, they're dumb expensive. They're like I think the cheapest one's 7,700.
Jesus. Okay.
What?
25. Yeah.
And yeah, like but I mean the cheapest one, like the smallest, like plainest, just the time version. That's like 7,700, and it goes and it gets worse from there. So
Hi, I'm just in time.
yeah.
It's like that movie.
And the other thing is they don't really make good
Yeah.
sizes for that anymore.
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake in time.
Yeah.
We love that movie with the guy from Mad Men who doesn't leave his house
Oh,
or
Pete!
email.
Vincent
Yeah.
Kartheiser. He doesn't own mirrors or have a car.
I remember that story. What
Yeah.
a fucking weird dude.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still on that shit, but
Yeah, that's true.
He's
Well,
a weirdo.
how do we encapsulate all of watches in 7 minutes?
Very nice.
Just
Very nice.
wear what you like
you-
to wear. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wear what you like to wear. That's very
Bracelet,
nice.
tell
Nice.
time.
Anyone that's here?
Those burr.
Yeah, where would you like to wear? Don't frame it in terms of practicality. What works with what outfit? If you do that, you're limiting
dead.
yourself as a watch guy. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead. Jack,
It's
you're
like
dead. You have
Spy
no
Kids.
emotions. It isn't a hobby. It's a practical pursuit, but but this pursuit is inherently unpractical. It's not supposed to. It can't make sense practically.
I'd
So
also say,
get into it. Yeah.
no, I would say just don't, because I know some people that are into menswear that since we're relating it, that don't like watches. If you don't like them, you don't have to wear one. It's not. They
Thank
don't
you.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, you don't need a good watch to be well dressed. That's bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
no,
That's complete bullshit. Yeah.
not at all.
The watch is like
That's-
my only accessory right now. That was the one thing I forgot to mention. I used to wear necklaces and rings in high school, but now I don't really fuck with that. It's just extra. So yeah, watch is the really only accessory I wear. But yeah, it's whatever
Yeah,
you
I've done the
feel.
same.
It's whatever you
Yeah.
vibe with, you know.
Guys, are we
Yeah,
still
I
have time? Can we
look at
find
it
some
now.
find some cringe watch videos on YouTube and just
Yeah, is
sort of
there a horrible one? Is there a one that
we'd
pops in
have
your
to
head?
we'd have to
Takes mad
switch
guides.
the
Oh, we
we'd
have to switch.
the format of it because we're
Yeah.
on the
Well,
That's
Right.
not
we're on
hard.
the,
That's not hard to do.
I mean, you're not the one doing it. I mean, MJ.
Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when I do it, it's literally the press of a button.
I know. I'm saying did
Click of the
MJ
mouse,
save
my dear boy.
the other format? Will if we click it, will it switch?
Yeah, I
By
mean,
the way,
you were- I
MJ,
mean,
are
I-
you winning, son? I know you're
I'll
not
just have
gaming.
to set. I mean, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
have
we have to
video
find a
already,
5-minute
or-
video that encapsulates all of watches.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that
Sounds
people
simple
watching
enough.
this won't like. I mean, I think the thing that happens with most guys who get into watches, from like from like a very beginner standpoint,
Yeah.
and this is again, I'm not a watch guy, but what I've seen a lot of is like, oh, I want like a Daniel Wellington watch because it's like it's a very, I mean, a Daniel
Yeah.
Wellington watch is the plain white sneaker of
Yeah.
watches, but instead of getting a common project, which is more or less worth the price ish, a Daniel Wellington
Sure.
watch is not.
No.
Smith.
I was so pissed when I saw
$20
like a fellow
AliExpress
theater
special.
friend with a Vincero watch. I was so mad, like viscerally mad. Just like they have a Vincero. Like, what are you doing?
Find an Alpha M watch video. How about that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Doesn't-
Oh
doesn't
God, I
Antonio
hate
have
him.
doesn't Antonio have a take that watch strap should ideally be half the size of a case of a watch, which
Did he
is
I
say
don't know.
that?
Does
yeah.
he?
I vaguely remember that, and if that's true, it's total bullshit. If you have a watch strap
no.
that's if you have a watch strap that's half the size of the case, that shit looks so unbalanced. That's a
Oh, I
very
got
big
it.
watch with a small strap. Yeah.
Five ways movement watches are better than Rolex.
Oh
Do
boy.
it.
Oh, we
do
gotta
it.
watch.
Pull it
Oh,
up.
MJ, I'm gonna
Follow it
PM it
up.
to you on Discord.
You don't need to.
Oh, you
No,
got
I need
okay.
to.
I'm just saying it.
Oh, we
well,
watched this
Someone's
before.
streaming.
Make sure
I
you
know we
stream it.
did. We watched it a long time ago, but we're gonna
Long time.
put it on stream for these people.
Throwback.
Do you think?
We're
you think
back.
so we would have these conversations about it just to get people to talk about the video.
Yeah. That's the
yeah.
main
Have to,
reason
you
we're
have
doing
to.
all this. It's just a long way to get to the video. MJ's
Yeah.
live.
Because I know before you start it, it's just because I know that like it being in the SoCal Asian group, right? It's not very often. There are a couple of guys in there who are watch guys, but I think they like I think wasn't there like a Gundam Seiko collab?
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
Yeah.
a,
Really?
Oh yeah, there was.
yeah, there was a Gundam one, and
Yeah.
there was a
Mm.
Capcom one, if I remember right.
yeah. I mean, again, I don't know
Oh,
anything
Capcom?
about I mean, I think menswear tends to be kind of not tainted, but I think it comes from a very formal background. I mean, I think in the SoCal Asian group they were talking a lot more about other wood watches, not I guess that's not novelty, but you know what I mean, that kind
Yeah.
of more fashiony,
That weird
trendy,
niche shit.
yeah, So I think when I was looking at them talk about it, I was like, wow, that's that's even more of a different world than
That is the
than
double
talking
monk
about
strap
Seikos
of the
and reference
watch.
numbers.
There's
Yeah,
also
but
a lot of watch modding as well in Seiko, which we won't have time to get to, but that's a
Oh
thing.
man,
Yeah.
hey, we didn't even talk about rep
We'll
watches.
do part 2 of this.
That's another thing Spencer
Yeah.
was looking into, and Scott too, right? They were we had
Mhm.
a conversation a couple like a month ago where we were just kind of standing up and talking about rep watches and okay, which one's a good one and which one
That's
which one
right,
would
yeah.
you do? But hey, well
The bad and the ugly.
watches are an interesting thing, and we will come back to it in the future,
We
most
will.
likely. This is just a way of us getting the initial thoughts out there. Again, like I said, I'd probably buy more watches. Aldous has said, I'm probably a burgeoning watch guy. I just don't want to admit it. I
You
already
just
got that
no, it's
thing.
just you don't have the information yet to really.
Yeah,
you know
and
know the field,
Get
but I
there.
think you have I think you have the fundamental quality of that all watch guys have, which is an appreciation for watch aesthetics. You like different
Yeah.
styles of watches.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
that's what
happen.
powers all of us. It's just that you
It'll
don't know what's
happen
happening.
Yeah. We all have that
when
journey.
the enjoyment I get from a watch is equal to that of clothing, which is a very, very uphill battle.
Ooh,
Because
that's
again, my whole
hard,
thing is
but I get
it has because otherwise it's like because it's one of those things where right now I don't have like a casual pair of shell Cordovan penny loafers, right? I still want the LHS. So buying a watch
Yeah.
is like, okay, well, the $100 or whatever the amount is, I'd rather save that for
Yeah, for a pair
all-
of shoes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
me either.
you know.
Ethan, I don't think
but,
it'll
like,
ever get to equal point for you. Like
No,
clothes
but
is so important.
yeah.
I don't know that watches will ever get to that, but I think it'll ramp up eventually.
well,
As
that's
your
what I'm
needs
saying.
are
'Cause I mean, but it's
satiated.
like one of those things where I happen to like a lot of other things instead of watches. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I bought
No, I get that.
2 vintage cameras like the past week, and I'm using them now because that gives
Oh
me
yeah.
more. I don't know. Watches don't really have
Gotta
a
get the
creative
outfits.
aspect for me yet. Because I guess
Yeah.
like again, like we talked about in the podcast, wearing a jacket has more. You can subvert it a lot more. Wear it with milslip, wear it with jeans, wear it with whatever.
But
Uh,
even this goes back to the strap thing. That's a way of expressing creativity, and
yeah, it's
thinking
not
back to
enough
it.
though.
But
Not enough.
yeah, but because I mean,
It's
I'm
never
going to speak
enough.
speaking for myself here because I consider watches to be its own sort of entity. For me, changing a strap would be like wearing a different pocket square of a jacket, or like wearing a different tie of a jacket. In a sense, it's messing around and
I mean,
playing with the look.
and we gotta
And
talk
yeah,
about pocket squares at
yeah.
some point too, because again, I still wear white pocket
Yeah.
squares with
Yeah,
everything.
pocket squares wasn't good because I wear white with everything, but
No,
ties.
but I mean,
Oh,
ties,
do you
ties,
wear
yeah.
it's like the
pocket
same thing.
squares?
We're like, but it's the same thing because it's like I obviously like I have some Drake's ones, just like how I have some watches. But sometimes I just kind of default to wearing a white, just like how I default to not wearing a watch at all. So it's like when it gets to that point, we'll see what happens. But
We'll
hey,
see.
we did it. We did the whole
We'll
thing
see.
now. Let's finish off
Yeah.
with
Let's do
this
this.
crazy
I remember
video
this
that
video.
got a lot of
He was
backlash.
trying to make the case against it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.